Greetings, welcome to another Deckard Games YouTube thing. If there is such a thing as games that are eternal because they changed video games and the industry, one of those games is Doom. Developed and published by id Software in December of 1993, Doom is a first-person shooter that would change video games forever. I'm not going to talk much about it because I have an old video dedicated to Doom's 25th anniversary, how it came to be and the things that it did. But 25 years later, one would think that Doom would be dead and one would be wrong. Not only the game lives on through the awesome modding community in forums like Doom World, but the man himself, the legend, Mr. John Romero, just released an official 5th episode to the original game. Yes, 25 years later the guy is still working on Doom. Get a life, Romero. Introducing Sigil, developed by John Romero and published in its physical form by Limited Run Games in 2019. The digital version of the game can be found in the link in the description of this video, and it's free to download and to play. Sigil comes with this absolutely beautiful box with this artwork that screams metal all over the place. Before we take a look inside, like every Limited Run Games release, it also comes with the collector's card. A nice addition to the game that I approve, although it is just a card with the name of the game and not the usual artwork. I've seen others with the artwork, so I guess there is more than one card, and I got this one. Back to the box, or better to the big box. I can't believe I'm opening a big box PC game in 2019. This is just surreal, and it had to be Doom. Well, the box is beautiful with this awesome artwork by Christopher Lovell entitled Shrine that fills the front of the box. No logos whatsoever, it has this embossed finish to it, and it is just hardcore. Even if you're not a Doom fan or a PC guy, you gotta love the work that goes into making stuff like this. This is already some of the very best artwork on a big box that I own. I miss the old days. And looking at the back, it immediately lets you know that you are going straight to hell. What? I didn't sign up for this. I just wanted to play a freaking game. Thanks a lot, Romero. I was going to heaven and you blew it. And the text basically tells you that you are going to deal with Baphomet to save Earth. So, we have to save Earth and go to hell? Huh. As you can see, the box is still sealed, so let's open this thing and unleash the forces of hell. Inside the box we get some cardboard and a CD right at the front, and a floppy at the back. Starting with the CD, let's open this one too. We have 2 discs, one the soundtrack by Buckethead, which is awesome, some great music. And a second CD which contains the game data. We also get some stickers, 2, one from Romero Games and another with the Sigil art Baphomet. Again, this is pretty cool artwork. Moving forward, we get a lovely floppy disk that is not a floppy disk, it is a dummy floppy, yeah. It is a USB drive with the game data also. Not the most practical thing in terms of handling with a USB drive, but I think it is cool to have a throwback to the good or bad, depending on the view, old days of floppy disks. And to finish things up, we also get a card from Christopher Lavelle on the art of Christopher Lavelle. So if you're into that, visit christopherlavelle.com. So what do I think about Sigil? Well, it is pretty cool. I've been playing it for a couple of weeks now because I had the digital version prior to launch. It was part of the physical release, and let's take a few things out of the way first. Doom is Doom, and you can't do better than that. So let's not even go down that road. Doom is perfection. Gameplay, graphics, the maps, the levels, sound effects, music, you name it, everything is perfect about Doom. That being said, there are a few things in Sigil that are exactly like in Doom. Number 1, the gameplay. Being the same game, even though it has some enhancements to it, the gameplay is spot on. Controls are tight and very responsive. The game maintains its fast-paced action with levels starting at an entrance and having to find keys and stuff to find the exit point. So gameplay is perfect, taking the player from point A to point B, just like in the original. Number 2, graphics. Sigil utilizes Doom textures only, so graphics are pretty much equal. Enemies are the same, weapons are the same, and these were choices that I approve. There are a few people asking why not use some Doom 2 textures and whatnot, but I disagree. If this is supposed to be the 5th episode to Doom, it makes absolute sense to use original textures only. Now let's talk about the rest. Sigil has 8 levels plus a secret one, and they all come with various cool names like Baphomet's Domain. Romero went all out in his English. The first level to Sigil, where the player is introduced to some mechanics like shooting the evil eyes to progress through the game. A fair and short level to kick things off. Sheol. The second map is a pretty small one, but it takes quite the time to go through because of backtracking. It is a circular kind of level where in fact the exit is just beside the entrance, but the player has to go all the way around. Cages of the Damned. Let me start by saying that the music in this level is phenomenal. It starts off slow and ramp ups with the action. Again, we have a kind of circular level where the player is coming back to the same place a number of times, especially to the main area of the pillar hallway. Paths of Righteousness. This is where Romero starts messing with you when it comes to level design. This is a 3-way map. Yes, the player has 3 different paths to go through before exiting the level. The paths can be tackled in any order, but I recommend going left to right. The first to the left is pretty straightforward, but the second, well, in the second we have sinking platforms standing on lava, so we have to make a run for it, just to be swarmed by enemies at the end. And the third to the right, it starts off pretty easily until you get to the first crushing room thing and get squished into the floor. This is where Sigil starts giving you the middle finger while laughing. Abaddon's Void. This is a map of islands. Yes, islands in a Doom level, making the player go back and forth to unlock new paths. This map was quite hard for me, not only because of the enemies, but because of the map design itself. It was kind of confusing. Unspeakable Persecution. Isn't that a lovely name for what's about to happen? Does it leave anything out for your imagination? Another maze-like map with rooms filled with cacodemons. And when you get to the end of the map, you get into the teleporter, you're sent to the beginning. again. And it is time to face the Cyber Demon maze. Although you can kill the Cyber Demon quite easily from a distance, navigating this maze is just a pain. Quick side note, this is the map where the entrance to the secret level is triggered. Nightmare Underworld, another very suggestive title. Damn you, Romero, why do you have to make things so hard? This is the biggest map in Sigil and the one where the player spends most time. Going through rooms and caves and narrow paths and more caves, come on man. Not to mention the amount of enemies in this map, it looks like a Monsters from Hell gathering. Halls of Perdition. This is the boss level and yet another maze filled with enemies. So it's the usual drill, kill enemies, die, and die a lot, getting to know the level until you get to the final boss and just kill him. Yeah, you just kill him. It is way more difficult to get there than to kill him. I guess it's all about the journey. Realm of Iblis. This is the secret level of Sigil, and more crushing posts to get squished by. It's a small level, but quite hard and with lots of cool secrets to find. So now that I've gotten Sigil's levels out of the way, what do I feel like talking about? Let's start with the obvious, the difficulty, for crying out loud. If you ever played Doom and thought that Die Flesh Consumed was hard, you're in for a big surprise. Die Flesh Consumed is a walk in the park compared to Sigil. Let me point out a few facts. Enemies, they are everywhere, and I mean everywhere. It is madness. You walk into a room, you kill everyone in that room, you're ready to open the next door, and you are presented with 5, 6, 7, 8 enemies that are just waiting for you on the other side. What a fair challenge. It is not rare to get swarmed by enemies in Sigil. Not only that, ammo. One has to be very picky on wasting ammo. Every shot has to count. Ammo is like a rare item in Sigil. This is a first-person shooter, Romero. Give me weapons and ammo to shoot stuff. You want to know what's even rarer than ammo? Medkits. Come on, man. Finding a medkit in Sigil is like finding a gold nugget while walking down the beach. The odds are exactly the same. Give me some more medkits. The level design. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about Doom are the large areas to explore while killing enemies. A sense of freedom, of large places. I get it that Sigil takes place in Hell, but every map takes you on a journey through small rooms, narrow paths, and walking through ledges. It feels small and tight. There are lots of places where you can barely move and dodge enemy attacks. And what happens when you fall off these narrow and confined spaces? Floors that hurt you, fire and lava, so if you fall, it is almost certain death. Not helping to this matter is the darkness within the game. I had to adjust brightness and play it with the lights turned off. There were lots of times where I felt like I was playing a survival horror kind of game. Sigil is playable of course, but man, is it hard. Romero went all out when it comes to unleashing hell, and he gave us 25 years worth of demons. I don't want to forget to mention the amazing music by Buckethead and the MIDI music by James Paddock. Both soundtracks are just awesome, and you know that you need some good tunes to play along with Doom. I found myself in a few levels just stopping to hear the music, and that says a lot about it. So would I recommend Sigil? Come on, it's free. Yes, you need to own a version of Doom which you can easily get on GOG, but still, it is free and it is Doom. For Doom fans to have a 5th episode made by John Romero himself after 25 years, it is just awesome. Did I like Sigil? Hell yes, emphasis on hell. I had a lot of fun playing Sigil. It took me back to the good old days of PC gaming. Yes, the game is hard, but is still also the successor to Die Flesh Consumed. 25 years later, I still take my hat off to John Romero on taking the time to produce a 5th episode to one of the most iconic games of all time and release it for free. If you wanted one of the big box versions, you had to pay for it, of course. It was a limited run games thing. But if you just want the game, it is free to download and to play. So as I've stated, my hat's off to Mr. John Romero, but damn you for making things so hard.
Damn you all to hell!
And if you like Doom and all sorts of games, you can check my other videos. I have different things that you can enjoy, from reviews to history videos to building old PCs. You can also follow me on social media for things that are social by today's standards. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a thumbs up. And as always, thank you very much for watching this. Until my next video, take care.